Right, today we're replacing a clutch cable on a Suzuki Bandit 600. So basically you got your clutch lever up here, you pull this rubber back and you should, it's a bit stiff on here, look at my, find that you've got your lock nuts here. You're going to loosen them off and we're going to line them up with a gap so it's easy to get the cable out. If you follow the cable down, bear in mind which cable it is all the way down, and you'll find it runs through down underneath the tank, underneath your fuel tap, behind and down into this case. So what we're going to do is, at this case the rubber will be over like this. I've already lifted it up. I'm going to pull back the rubber and you've got your two lock nuts here. You're going to need a 10mm, I think it is, maybe it's 11 or 12, wait a minute. It's going to be 12mm to release that one, and we're going to loosen that up, and it's going to be a 10mm for the top one, and we're going to loosen, if it wants to, that up. Right, okay, we're meant to do them in opposite directions, there we go. Right, then what you're going to need is an Allen key, and we're going to come over to the case and we're going to I cheated earlier, some of these bolts were stiff. I put the Allen key in, just give a knock on the back of the on the Allen key with a screwdriver to loosen the bolts up. I spray WD-40 into these two, they're already loose from earlier. So what you're going to have to do is take out, there's 6 of these, so you've got the one under here, so that's all of them out. I've just put them in order. Now we come to the gear shifter lever. We're going to have to take this off. I already loosened it. And just remember how and which way this went back on. So we're going to take this off. That was a 10mm bolt there, so should be the same for you guys out there watching it. So we're just going to take that off nice and easily. Just put the bolt back in so you don't lose the bolt, just remember that. As basically what you can do now is just pull this out, and this should be very gunky behind here. Oh my god, that is absolutely disgraceful. And you can see, I will clean this, I'm going to have to clean this. This is a mess. The clutch cable is in there, so that's what we're going to take out. The clutch cable is just here, runs into here. Okay, before taking the clutch cable out, the bottom one here is a little bit awkward to take out, so I'm going to line these up here and just pull the cable out of this like so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rubber bit off, as if it wants to come off. Come on. Not having none of it. There we go. Right, just put that down here. Right, now unthread clutch lever, clutch cable, sorry. I'm going to just slide it, I'm going to pull it out. There we go, there we go, excellent. Right, just remember where the cable went. So it's come from under the hook, down under your tap, down behind the carb, down, 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 down. Right, just remember which way it went. Now we can work on unhooking. Right, inside here you've got your clutch cable. I've actually just managed to loosen it. There's a little tab, little bit of metal comes down here, and it bends underneath the clutch cable. Now I just loosened it, which was a pretty bit of hard work, so if anyone knows a better way to do this, then feel free to tell me. But basically I've got a screwdriver between the bottom of the clutch cable and the little metal bit that was holding it in place. It bends around, so it hooks around, lays under it flat. So then you can just, basically what you can do then is, after you've loosened it, you can just pull this down and then pull it out. But yeah, just in there, there's that little bit of metal. I don't know if you guys can see it. Just here. And that would be flat. And it bends around from here. So I just put a screwdriver, like I said, pulled it down. So now the clutch cable is free. So what we do is you got the bolt here with a lock nut. Just spin it. If you ain't got, if the top is already attached, then you can just do it with a 10mm. But you just keep spinning that, and then that comes off. Right, just come back from cleaning up the case cover. I'm not in a cleaning competition, but it's a lot better than what it was. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to take our clutch cable. This is the bottom end, it's top end. This is what we've just took it out of. But now it's time to oil the clutch cable. Okay, we're going to lube the clutch cable. I've got one of these cable oiler, just to make the job a little bit simpler. You take the clutch cable, and it's got a small end here. You put that in the small end, and then the metal bit here goes into the big end. You just tighten it up, really easy to use. You use this here, so we've got just some normal lubricant. It's got Teflon in this one, and all you do is you push that in there, and then when you spray it, just bit by bit, I expect it to come out and shoot everywhere. So let me just get a rag behind it. You might have to pull the top of the cable up and down just to make sure it's free running, help the oil go down, but it has started to come out at the bottom. You can see the little drabs on there. So what I'm going to do, give it a good blast, put that down there, chuck that down there. I'm going to undo this as if it wants to come out. There we go. Right, top of it's well lubed, just make sure it's free running. There we go. Now your cable, as you can see it's dripping out the bottom, is oiled. Right, we're just reapplying the clutch cable. We're going to do the bottom of the clutch cable first, back into the case. So just thread it through, then you can just start doing it up. Right, and that will come down, and it'll go back into, if we're lucky enough, into here. Wait a minute, let me just tighten this up onto there so I've got some. That's it, got some leverage now. It's because we've had to bend that bit of metal out of the way, and now the hard bit is trying to get this back behind. There we go, that bit of metal. Right, brilliant. Right, so that's back in there. And we take a little screwdriver, and in here, this little bit of metal again, you just want to bend that back into place. Right, so now we've got that securely fitted in there, lubed up, done the bolt in the top. You're just going to have to put it back on the bike now, but remember where everything went for threading it up. So first thing, I think what we really want to do is just get it back in spot on here, because there's that little rubber bit there, and just here there's this little rubber bit for the wire that should, wherever it's gone, I've lost it, slide up, 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 up. That's it. So that little bit of rubber goes into that gap. trying to line this up. I'm rubbish at this, aren't I? There we go. Right. And that should be behind there. And that's it. So that's getting it back onto the bike. Let's get one of these. Remembering which order you put it in. Just put it on there loosely. I won't put it on there too tight. Just hold it in place so you can do the rest of it with ease. So what we're going to do is we're going to thread it back up. Make sure we're not twisting it. We want it all the same way. Just thread it back up where it comes from. Up. That's if it wants to go. It really ain't having none of it. Should have threaded it first. Don't want to twist the cable at all. Right, it's going behind the second. There we go. Right, right, yep. Right, and then back underneath. Try not to twist the cable here. Try your best not to twist the cable. And then back up. Push it right up first before I go up to the next bit, just to make sure that the cable is straight, because we have done a bit of twisting here by mistake. Right, cable's straight, that's still alright. And then back up under here. Ideally you should take the side panel off, it's only a Allen key there, and then that would help you get it up the side here easier instead of flapping around. But being a good old there we go, that's it. Now what we have to do is find it from behind the light. All shine the light. Right, here we go. Find it from behind here. And then put it back up. A little bit fiddly. Okay, the clutch lever I've put back on. Here, with the lock nuts, I've already locked it up. But this comes out exactly the same way as what it went in. You line up the slip together. You thread the cable into there, and it goes into the hole under here. And mine needs straightening a little bit. I'll sort that out in a minute. What might happen here is you might have a little bit too much slack or not enough slack. In my case, I didn't have enough slack. So if you come down here with your lock nuts here, loosen these lock nuts up, and then when you've loosened these up, it will give you more slack up the top there, right? And then you might find that you got too much slack. So what you end up doing is loosen the top one first. That'll be a 10, and turn that one this way to loosen it up, and then retighten the bottom one. It's easier way to do it, and then that should bring it back so you've got the springiness back in the clutch, and that's it. And then all you have to do to finish it off is get a little bit of grease. We'll go back down by the down here, and what we want to do is remember how this went on. Alright, so I'm going to line the teeth up, I'm just going to use a bit of grease on here because I want it to slide on. I don't want to ruin the teeth. And then just remember how this went on. Line it up, and that should just go on like so. Push it over a bit more, and then the bolt goes back in like so. Make sure to tighten it up. Once that's tightened anyway, you want to get your bolts back in to here. So all I'm going to do for this, you can do that in there. Bit of a copper slip, and then just put all the Allen keys, all the bolts back in. Now that we've got all our bolts in, it's back on, you should be good to go.